I wasn't always the villain. But when your best friend steals your boyfriend and laughs in your face, maybe being the villain isn't such a bad thing. That's what Alina says about me now. That I ruined her life. But the truth? She lit the match. I just gave her the fire she deserved. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted more than anything, this story is for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for a tale of friendship, heartbreak, and cold, calculated revenge. I wasn't always the villain. In fact, for most of my life, I was the fixer. The one who smoothed things over when friendships cracked. The one who apologized, even when I wasn't at fault. The one who forgave, even when forgiveness felt like swallowing glass. And at the center of it all was Alina. She was my childhood best friend. We met when we were 9. Alina had this magnetic kind of charm, the kind that makes people fall in love with her in minutes. She was the sun, warm, radiant, and impossible to ignore. I was the shadow beside her, quiet, thoughtful, observant. We were inseparable. People used to say we shared one brain, but if you looked closely, you'd see the cracks forming even back then. Alina had this way of taking things without asking. My favorite sweater? Gone. My favorite book? Claimed as hers. That guy I'd been crushing on for months? She flirted with him right in front of me and said it was just teasing. She even charged stuff to my credit card and blamed it on a glitch. I knew something was off, but I always convinced myself it wasn't worth the fight. That's what friends do, right? They forgive. But then came Ryan. Ryan was different. He was kind, thoughtful. He looked at me, not through me like most guys did when Alina was around. We connected over coffee and late-night study sessions. He made me feel seen, like maybe I wasn't just the shadow. Alina smiled when I told her we were dating. She even squealed and said, "Finally," but something in her eyes flickered. I didn't recognize it at the time. Now I know it was jealousy. 2 months in, Ryan changed. He became distant, unreachable. Our nightly calls turned into one-word texts. Our dates became excuses. And then one night, I got a message. "You deserve better. I'm sorry." No explanation. Just that. I was devastated. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I tore my room apart, looking for something, anything, to explain what happened. And then I found it. Ryan's hoodie. In Alina's laundry basket. I confronted her, heart pounding so hard, I thought I might collapse. She looked up from her phone, smirked, and said, "You should have known. He was too good to be true for you." And then she laughed. No shame, no apology, just laughter. She wore my heartbreak like it was a victory crown. That was the moment something inside me broke. But I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I smiled. And I started planning. For the next year, I became the perfect best friend again. I brought her coffee. I covered for her in class. I listened to her endless stories about boys and drama and fake tears. She didn't notice the change. Too busy being adored. Too used to getting away with everything. But I was watching. I started collecting things, screenshots, emails, receipts. I recorded her drunken rants, where she bragged about manipulating professors, stealing internship slots, even blackmailing a girl in our dorm over a cheating scandal. I followed the trail of destruction she left behind. Friendships ruined, careers tainted, lies upon lies. And I built a file, a very detailed one. Then came her dream job interview. She'd been gushing about it for months. The position, the perks, the travel.
"This is it," she said.
My life's about to start. The night before the interview, I pressed send. Every dirty secret she'd buried, sent directly to the company's HR. Her professors, and her parents. Screenshots, recordings, evidence, all of it. The phone rang. It was her.
Sobbing. Panicked.
Screaming. "Why would you do this to me?" I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I whispered, "You made me the villain the day you stabbed me in the heart. I just decided to wear the costume." Then I hung up. Alina tells everyone I destroyed her life. That I was obsessed. That I snapped. maybe I did. But in a world where being the nice one only gets you walked on, maybe being the villain isn't so bad. Sometimes justice wears a crooked smile, and sometimes villains are just heroes who've had enough. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories where karma finally catches up, because some villains are just misunderstood. She tells the story like she was the victim, but the truth? She was never innocent. She just hid her claws better than I did. I lost everything. My job, my friends, my reputation. Because of her. But if I'm going to be the villain in her story, I might as well tell mine. If you've ever been misunderstood or blamed for something you didn't do, this story is for you. Hit like, subscribe, and listen closely because not all villains wear black. Sometimes, the most dangerous people are the ones who smile quietly while they destroy you. Everyone knows her version. The quiet girl, the victim, the so-called best friend I betrayed. But no one ever asks what it was like being me. We met when we were 9. She was shy, sweet, smart. I was the one who spoke up, made friends easily, got us into and out of trouble. We were yin and yang, or at least that's what I thought. But as we grew up, it felt like I was carrying the friendship. I was always making the plans, smoothing things over, standing up for her when people talked behind her back. And yeah, I borrowed things. Clothes, makeup, even some of her books. But let's not pretend she was innocent. She always made herself the victim. Always let people believe I was the messy one, the dramatic one. And Ryan? Let's talk about Ryan. He wasn't stolen. He drifted. He and I had a connection before she even realized it. We bonded over music, over mutual classes. And yes, we got too close. It wasn't right, I'll admit it. But relationships are complicated. He came to me. I didn't chase him. I told her the truth, cruel as it sounded, because I wanted to break the cycle. To stop pretending we were best friends when we were just surviving each other. But instead of cutting ties, she stayed. She played the perfect friend. She brought me coffee. She helped me prep for interviews. She even threw me a birthday party. I didn't know she was recording me, saving screenshots, compiling a digital coffin to bury me in. The night before my dream job interview, I got an email from HR. Then my professor called. Then my dad. Everything fell apart. I was humiliated,
Exposed.
accused of things I said in confidence, during breakdowns, during private conversations. And when I called her, desperate, shaking, she didn't scream. She whispered, "You made me the villain. I just wore the costume." She didn't just destroy my career. She took a knife to my reputation and carved me into the version of myself she always wanted to believe existed. Maybe I messed up. Maybe I deserved to be called out. But to do it like that, to smile to my face for a year, then pull the trigger? That's not justice. That's cruelty. So now she wears the mask of the righteous, the wounded hero. And I'm the villain everyone loves to hate. But here's the thing about masks. Eventually they slip. And when they do, everyone will see her for what she truly is. Maybe I was selfish. Maybe I hurt people. But I never destroyed anyone.
She did.
And if this world thinks she's the hero, they've clearly never seen her smile while burning someone's life to the ground. What do you think? Was I the villain? Or was I just the first casualty in a quiet war? If you're still listening, hit that like button and drop a comment. Who do you believe, Alina or her best friend? And subscribe for more stories where the truth isn't always so black and white. It had been 4 years since I destroyed her world. I thought it was over. I thought I could move on. But karma isn't a one-way street. And Alina, she wasn't done. This is the final chapter of a story about betrayal, revenge, and the lies we tell ourselves to sleep at night. If you've ever wondered what happens after revenge, hit that like button, subscribe, and prepare yourself for a twist you won't see coming. For years had passed. I had a new city, a new job, and what felt like a new life. I'd buried Alina and everything that came with her in the ashes of who I used to be. I told myself I had no regrets. Until I saw her. I was standing in line at a bookshop downtown. It was raining. I remember the sound of the drops hitting the glass when I looked up, and there she was. Older, tired, still beautiful, but different. She looked right at me and smiled. I didn't move. She walked over, calm, casual, and said,
Wow.
"You haven't changed a bit." I forced a laugh. My stomach flipped. "You have," I replied. "Didn't think I'd ever see you again." She raised an eyebrow. Life's funny that way. We sat at a nearby cafe. Small talk at first.
Jobs. Cities.
Nonsense. But the air was tight. Every word like glass. Then she leaned in, voice low. "I know what you did. I forgave a lot, but not that." I stirred my coffee, keeping eye contact. Funny. I don't remember asking for forgiveness. Her smile vanished. "You think you were the victim, but you were just better at pretending." I snapped. "Pretending? I spent years cleaning up your messes while you wore my pain like jewelry." She shook her head. "And I spent years suffocating under your quiet perfection. You always played the martyr, but you were just waiting to strike." Silence. People passed by outside, umbrellas bobbing like ghosts. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But most of all, I wanted to ask why. "Why Ryan?" I whispered. She blinked. "Because he liked you. And I needed to prove he shouldn't." There it was. The truth.
Small.
Pathetic. Human. Sometimes revenge doesn't explode. Sometimes it just fizzles. We sat there for a long time, staring at a past we couldn't undo. Then I reached into my bag and handed her something. A sealed envelope. She frowned. "What is this?" "Everything I never said." She opened it. Read in silence. Her lips parted. No sound came out. Inside were two things. A letter I wrote years ago, before the revenge, begging her to admit what she'd done. A photo of us at 9 years old, arms slung over each other's shoulders, grinning like idiots. Her fingers trembled. "I'm not sorry for what I did," I said. "Neither am I," she replied. But this time, it wasn't war. It was surrender. We stood. She turned to leave. But then she paused and looked back. "You weren't always the villain." I nodded. "Neither were you." And just like that, we walked away. Revenge isn't always clean. And closure doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes, all you get is understanding. She and I, we were both villains. Both victims. And maybe that's the truest story of all. Everyone wants a clean ending. Good versus evil. Hero versus villain. But real life? It's just two people trying to survive each other. And sometimes, survival looks a lot like destruction. If this story moved you, hit that like button and tell me in the comments. Do you think they truly forgave each other? Or was this just a quiet battle with no winner? And don't forget to subscribe for more emotionally complex stories that leave you questioning everything. Because sometimes the real twist is the person you become.